Hi, I'm Ash.
Hi, I'm Laura.
And this is Doing Our Fucking Best.
All right, Dan. Give us a little snippet about you.
So, I've lived in the state of Minnesota, where we are in the cold, snowy north, all my life. I'm gonna be 30 years old next year. I am a freelancer in terms that I am a voiceover artist and, let's say, stage actor,
For sure.
based in the Twin Cities, who is on the autism spectrum.
Great.
That's me.
What theater have you performed with in the cities?
There's, Lyric Arts in Anoka. There's Lakeshore Players in White Bear Lake. A lot of community theater groups, Lexham in St. Paul.
Have you ever performed at a place that wasn't a theater? Because, when you're a struggling artist like ourselves, sometimes you end up doing an improv show like in a coffee shop. Have you ever performed in an unusual space?
I would say other than site-specific theater, but even that is not too unusual.
Did you say site?
Site-specific.
What is that?
So that's in.
Ooh, I asked what that is.
Yeah, it could be for example, James J. Hill House this last December,
Yeah.
like a museum or a field or a park.
Oh.
So theater in the park.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've never performed on the rooftop of a building. That's a goal of mine.
That's a very very specific. You want to perform on the roof of a building.
You can perform on my roof if you want.
Yeah.
It's really snowy, really icy.
Slippery.
But you can do it.
I feel like
It's
I'm
possible.
feeding a baby right now because I keep giving you the mic. You can hold
Baby
it
bottle.
too. You lazy.
I was holding it.
All right.
So
So you do voice acting, like Laura here.
now I feed the baby.
Stage.
There we go.
Do you have do you have a side job to support your creative freelance?
Yes. It's not waiting tables. It's working with individuals, with human beings with learning disabilities. I like to say learning differences, but
Sure.
I'm currently like a paraprofessional EA, educational assistant at a charter school. I shouldn't mention it, but it's on my socials and my social media profile. It's out there. But I am sort of like an assistant teacher along with many other hardworking people and helping students, young minds, not just on the autism spectrum, but with ADHD, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. I help them. I'm a piece of the operation that gets their needs met and their learning objectives completed and accomplished. Mm-hmm. I'm a motivator.
Have the last 3 years been hard in the education world? I know the answer is yes, but
With COVID, with the pandemic, we were all in little rooms like this, and we were online. We were commuting on the internet, so we weren't driving in traffic on freeways getting to places. But it was kind of hard. It was hard for a lot of families and a lot of students, as well as struggling artists, like actors who work in the service industry, but also in education and academia. And that,
you know how that goes, Ash.
yeah,
COVID fucked you.
I was fucked by COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
yep. There's a lot, a lot of stuff. Yeah, it felt like the whole world went underground, and I was there and what I could be. I did my fucking best on Google Meets and Zooms and Skypes for parents and teachers, and the last 3 years, and plus we were the center of the world in Minneapolis, St. Paul, with riots. In the summer of 2020. And that was really the impetus for me to get into voiceover and maybe not to pursue education further in a teaching sense. Mm-hmm. It was teaching licensure or voiceover work, and I went the direction of voiceover work. So the last 3 years, yes, have been challenging, but they've led to friendships and relationships and exciting projects. Frontiers.
Good for you for taking the risk.
Yeah,
I have we go on tangents a lot here. I have a question. Okay, so you mentioned your side job helping people who are on the spectrum or with learning differences in your words. In what ways, because I know you've done improv, that's how we met.
Yep.
And I think improv is great for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, in what ways do you feel like being on the spectrum maybe made things more challenging, or in what ways do you feel like it actually like gave you the upper hand in comedy?
I think somewhat, and not everyone can agree with this, but somewhat of the social awkwardness of being on the spectrum. Oh my gosh, I'm going to name drop, but there's her. She's her own Mackenzie Diggins, who's a known improviser in the cities, an actress.
Do you know her?
Yeah.
I don't. I should.
Her sister Jessie is an Olympic skier, U.S., but she that's a sports star. She said during one of her routines, this is Mackenzie Diggins. She said that sometimes the social awkwardness of constantly checking time or doing or being like motivated to scratch your chin or not motivated but like inclined to scratch your chin or just obsessing about like your surroundings, that can play really well with improv.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some of us, because Laura always has the best stories, I know, like that no one can top because they're so zany, insanely zany. But sometimes, yeah, like you want to be authentic and true, but I think the social awkwardness plays into improv, as well as some things like even people on the spectrum, like not all, but like they can struggle with things like hygiene, and you can make a lot of jokes about body odor and other random things.
If anyone is curious, Dan does not currently stink.
No, I took a shower before coming. But,
well, I think that's really cool. That's why I asked, like, in what ways do you feel like it gives you the upper hand in comedy? Because I think you're so funny, and I think it's interesting that it's great that you're aware, okay, some of these tics or mannerisms you have, like, you can actually leverage those to be super funny.
Yeah. For example, I'm doing the fish lips right now. Like, I smell rotten fish. I get it from my mom, who got
Are
it
you
from
making
my
fun of
grandpa.
me when you do that?
No, because I think a lot of people do it. That there it shows. Like, yeah, it's not just a unique thing, but you can catch yourself doing it at the most inappropriate of times.
One thing I've learned from taking on-camera classes is that when I think I'm smiling, I'm actually making like a stink face. I'm actually like... But in my mind, I'm like, I'm smiling.
How do you think you're smiling, but are making clearly the opposite?
It's. I'm just trying to like keep like an. I think I'm trying to keep like a neutral face.
Am I smiling right now, guys? Am I smiling?
I'm actually crying on the inside.
Right.
I don't know what happiness is. I don't know. It's weird, but I'll see myself, and I'll be like, I was emotionally happy during that scene or whatever, but I'll be like,
Yeah.
emotions. What are they?
And that plays into like not being able to read social cues, or like maybe misinterpreting body language when you're on the spectrum, so it all comes full circle.
Yeah. You and Ash, I've only ever heard about this from Ash and from you. You guys partnered up for some sort of like charity event?
Yeah.
That was so fun. Yes. Okay, so do you want to talk about that? Because you're a founder, right?
Well, I no, most certainly not a founder,
Oh, okay.
but one of my friend Drew brought me into it. But Best Buddies is an organization for inclusion. It's connected with the Special Olympics of Minnesota, or the National Special Olympics, which the Kennedy or the Shriver family started way back in the 60s, 70s. Even sooner than that. But yes, we Ash did donate incentives to my campaign to be a Best Buddies champion, workshops at a discount price. That was
Improv workshops.
Improv workshops. Yeah, that was a year and a half ago. And yeah, they're an organization which is all about inclusion. And I was running for champion of the year. I didn't win. A very amazing model with Down syndrome, Michaela Holmgren, won that evening. But it just, Ash was at the gala, and
Patrick
McNamer, who got me introduced to you. Yeah.
So, this isn't Patrick's interview, but Patrick is a very funny improviser, writer, freelancer,
Yes.
actor. Patrick, if you're listening, we want to interview you.
Come here, Patrick.
And he'd be like, yeah, totally. He's the shit. That's my impression of him.
Oh my God, that's so
he
good.
He is like the shit and talks a lot with his hands. Like,
oh my God.
I've never met this
so
man
impressions.
before, but I feel like I know you, Patrick. Come to my house. Great.
Yes.
So I'm eyeballing the time here. I think this went super well, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to wrap it up, Dan, what is something, advicey, or what's a fuck up you've had? What is something that you would like to just say to people who might be listening?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So one time, this isn't the biggest fuck up. I've still got to come to terms into when to like, be comfortable talking about that. But I will. And this was, a brain fart I had my sophomore year at college, Gustavus Adolphus in St. Peter, Minnesota. And I registered for a Shakespeare workshop of a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And it was during the day, during school hours. But yet, as you do in high school at liberal arts colleges and in colleges anywhere, you have to take your generals. Mm-hmm. And so my sociological science credit that was available in the roster as I was picking out was general psychology. So I kind of I was pretty conscious. I knowingly made this choice to register for this psychology class at the same time that the devised workshop would meet on Tuesdays or Thursdays, or Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, whatever time the class met. I did not have a big role in the production. I was the father of Hermia, one of the lovers. Yeah. And a lot of the dialogue was cut. It was a very physical production, and my role took a very big cut. So I assumed I wouldn't be called for a lot of rehearsals, but even with not being called for those rehearsals, it overlapped, and I missed a good amount of the classes on the class dates for the general psychology course. And my advisor had said, that's not okay. And part of my response would be like, yes, I know, but I feel like something missed. Maybe I miscommunicated something in our conversation back during the fall for spring registration. And I don't feel the whole burden of the responsibility. And looking back on it, I passed the course with a C or whatever, and it could have been higher had it not been for a conflict. But sometimes I think that's relatable of how we as artists and freelancers can double book ourselves if we don't use our planners, whether that's on paper or on phones.
Yep. I hate it when I have just 5 different things to juggle in one day.
Yeah.
Or more.
So Laura and I, our tagline is, we are, struggling. I don't even remember what our tagline is right now. It's like advice you didn't ask for from
two girls who shouldn't give it.
So we like to give advice. So being on brand with our podcast, I'll give a bit of advice. Keep doing the fish face. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have any?
Thanone Mom, and thanks anyone who's done it.
Yes.
It's better than an RBF. You want an RFF, a resting fish face.
Resting fish face.
Oh.
Or resting bitch face.
Yeah.
That's what I have.
Yeah. What's your advice?
My advice is, in the words of your mother, just keep swimming.
Yep. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you for the advice. I'll take it to heart, and I'll
great advice.
Put it in my brain.
Yay!
Yay!
We are so happy we had you. Do you have any upcoming things you want to share?
Well, so Ash and Laura, I wish I could announce. I have hopes to book things in voiceover in the next few months, but there is. I'll give a shout out to them they work more in the North Metro. There's this place called Northern Stars Performance Company, and I was there last summer. I'll be and the summer before. I'll be there this summer. There's a performing arts camp called Camp Under the Stars. They also donated something to my bucket for Best Buddies.
Nice.
There's also this thing called the Penguin Project, which it was actually started in Peoria, Illinois. They're the only ones in Minnesota to do it. Artists with Down syndrome, spina bifida, autism, you name it, ADHD, perform in the Penguin Project, which is a musical. It's not its own creation of a play, but and kind of the motto is that a young artist who's in the Penguin Project, who's in this musical, who's never been in this before, and they have a disability, that they have a mentor, they have a buddy, that that can guide them, walk them through the cues, and kind of lead them to be great ensemble members. And Camp Under the Stars, though, is July 30th through August 5th, and you can maybe I could send you a link and we could attach a link to the recording, so if there are any parents listening, it's a great opportunity for the Penguin Project or Camp Under the Stars. And I hope in the fall to be in another production that Northern Stars is doing. I won't reveal the title of it because I still have to audition.
No, you have to tell us the title.
Well, I will tell you what it's about. It's about three young women in the 1920s or 30s.
Great, and what's it called?
It's called Watermelon Hill. I still have to audition, but these three young women in the play become pregnant, but it's a comedy about...
Anytime three young women get knocked up, I think that's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Yes.
Hence the reason it's called Watermelon.
So...
Laura knows all about being knocked up when you're young.
But,
I'm kidding.
But no.
Oh my God.
But...
That was a joke. If it was
joke.
real, I wouldn't have said it. That would have been mean then.
But it's sent... it's set in St. Paul, this play. And I don't know anything more about it. I'm not saying I'll be in it. I might be in it, but that's in the fall.
Great.
They may Wayward Theater Company may remount, which in this case means redo. Anytime you add mount to a word, it sounds very awkward. But that's how. Yeah, we remount.
That's how I got knocked up as a child.
Mount it. They're going to redo Christmas Carol at the James J. Hill House, site-specific theater.
That's very cool.
And they may redo it. Again, that's maybe. So my upcoming projects are speculative.
It's still great.
Yeah.
It's something to look forward to. And
So are mine.
Yeah, of course.
And it's the work that you do in the community is super awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it was wonderful that you were here to join us
Wonderful.
and talk
Well, I'm
with us.
glad. I'm glad you had me.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Should we do a group bye?
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.